guys. Thank you for tuning in to this week's It's Game Time podcast. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to this week's episode. This week's episode is going to be a little bit different. Usually I try to stick on a topic or a theme, but to be honest with you, I think I'm just going to kind of freestyle this one a little bit because it's a lot of things that I kind of been wanting to get off my mind, but I didn't know the right way to kind of get it off for the most part. So I'm just going to try it this way. If y'all like this way, let me know. If y'all don't, whatever. I'm not gonna lose sleep of it. But hey, no, all input is good input. At the end of the day, I'm just messing with you, so feel free. But one thing I'm noticing and I'm noticing people, and I don't know, maybe it's just because the older I get, the more I start to see the world differently. A lot of people are negative. When I say negative, it's like just because somebody give you a bad compliment, that does not mean, in my opinion, I don't feel like that means that they're being negative. I feel if anything, they're just more so. I don't know. Maybe they just trying to tell you the right way to do something or give you heads up of how you look. I've been on the wrong end of some things sometimes where it looked a certain way, and then when somebody actually give me input, I'm like, okay, yeah, you was right. Like I used to always get mad when I was a kid when my dad or my mom used to tell me so many ways that I was in my feelings, like you a crybaby. So I'm like, what you mean I've been a crybaby? Like, you know what I mean? Like I'm y'all kid, I'm supposed to cry. But I start to realize that the things I was crying about wasn't necessarily, I don't want to say cry worthy, but it's I should have just took an extra second to see what was going on. Like when I say my parents call me crybabies, it wasn't in the sense of like where was really hurt about something and I was crying about it. It was like if me and my brothers got into it and I came to them about something, they're like, hey, at the end of the day, you got to handle your own business. So I just say that for an example, like where it's not always, hurtful. Sometimes it's constructive. I was reading something about LeBron James. He opened up that school. And while everybody got their motives for doing different things, I could give somebody $100 and if I feel like if my heart wasn't in the right way, giving that $100, it can be misconstrued. Like, hey, I had an extra 100, I didn't need it. People can find so many different ways to splice up the good thing I did. But I like to try to look at the positive someone did. And only thing I kept seeing after LeBron did what he did, or he been saying he been making the school for I don't know how long. They always were saying, Jalen Rose did it first, David Robinson, Andre Agassi. They were saying people like that who did it first. And my thing about it, it's not about who did it first. It's not even about who do it last. It's that the next person did it. Now, I'm happy that somebody of that type of celebrity, as such as LeBron, was able to do something like that for people, like especially at-risk kids. Anybody that know dealing with that population, I mean, they have certain resources, but the resources that's in that school, again, how they're going to sustain it is I don't know, but in that school is crazy. So I'm happy to see that, and for somebody to kind of, this other person deserves just as much credit or whatnot. It seemed kind of short-sighted, and I was telling my friend earlier today, and this isn't really about even the conversation we had, but he was saying it wasn't a diss, or I'm not trying to down it, and I'm like that is downing because if I go through something and accomplish something, the first thing you tell me shouldn't be somebody did it first. It should be a congratulations. It should be, oh, that's wonderful. Oh, me myself, I can look at it like damn. But that was my big take with it. Now, again, no disrespect. Like I said again, that's my brother. It wasn't even no argument or nothing like that. But it's just one of those things that I think though too many of those comments, it can sully a good thing. So where it takes good things away that people do in this society because we always need, at the end of the day to have hope. To have hope that somebody can grow up and be a LeBron because at the end of the day, yes, he can shoot a basketball. Yes, he was a big guy. Yes, he used his talents to get where he's at. But how many people we know in the same city, in the same situation, never worked as hard as this man did, considering what he had and didn't have? Now, I just like to see the end product. Like, Jalen Rose, I seen him talk about his school, and he got a system now where it's self-sustainable. I I think that's dope. But it just we need more of positivity when it's not enough of us being positive out here. So that's what I was just thinking, like the negative connotations that people can't really make mistakes now. People can't do this. It's always a comparison. And anybody that knows me, I if I'm to be compared, it's only to who I used to be. I hate comparing myself or somebody try to compare me with somebody else because not only is that a disservice to them, it's a disservice to me. That's not saying how far they came. And it's funny that I'm talking about this in negative people, but I was my friend. She sent me a pictures, and I posted them on my social media a little while back. But she sent me some pictures when I was in high school, and while I'm looking at that picture, you know what I mean, and I'm getting feelings like I remember how I felt that night. I remember what I was going through that night. It's like people always need to kind of say something negative, even when they don't even think it's negative. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that is. Everybody, even if you listen to this, you got something that you hold dear to your heart that you see something and brings something out of you, and then somebody say something, and you're just like, dude. And they like, oh, but I was just playing. It's like, all right, man, I understand what you're saying, but it's not always that place to say something negative. It's just shut up. And I know I've been guilty of it in the past too. Like, and I've talked about this in my other podcast too. Is everybody shouldn't have an opinion, but I say that to say, like, sometimes just be cognizant. You know what I mean? And again, like the other day, I was talking to that I didn't know the guy where I'm from who got murdered. I think it was about a week ago. So rest in peace to his family and whatnot. But something happened. You know what I mean? Like where sometimes I talk, and my thing about this too, I gotta remember that I do have a voice, even though half of y'all do not want to believe it and just don't like me, just whatever. Like I actually do got a voice where people can come up to me at any time, any city, actually not any city, but from here I say to Lansing or something, and they'll say something to me about if it's some of my posts or somebody said something to me. But some things got took out of context that I said, and a young man got murdered the other day, and I said like after he got murdered, uh, I said so, and when I said so, it wasn't a sense of me saying so in the sense of this man's life or it didn't matter. I think I was more so saying so because nobody you care today, and it's a Facebook post today, but you won't care tomorrow. Like you care today, but you're not even going to his funeral. Like you care today, but you're not even trying to bring his family justice. Like that's how I look at stuff. So, um, it ain't really nothing to be addressed. To be honest with you, it was just one of those things that have to understand that while you mean well, sometimes it doesn't always come out that way. And I'll be the first to say, like, I'm not perfect in that sense, but I mean, my feelings still remain the same. It's like fucking so, like, do something about us dying. You know what I mean? Like, be the change that you expect people to be. Like LeBron. Like LeBron is the change that he expected, that he wanted somebody to be. So regardless of whatever you say, take basketball out of it. What he's doing is is unheard of. Like everything that he did up until this point, it's just unheard of. I'm not saying that he didn't have more access to things. It's wonderful for me to see. I love seeing stuff like that. I love when people are happy. I love seeing people happy. Um, it's just what's up, man. Like that's really it. So I mean, to say this and say this, it ain't necessarily saying don't be who you are, because sometimes I got jokes, you got jokes, everybody got jokes, and we want to have a good time. But it's just, in my example I just said, sometimes your jokes or whatever is not always at the right time. And I could be a man and admit that no matter how right I feel like I am, I could be wrong at the time. My delivery, that all that can be taken in context, but I really do feel like that we could do better if we just take a second just to be happy and about what we got. There's so much negative stuff in this world. So many people that just won't want you on the other end that do bad. We ain't got enough time for that. And I understand you don't got enough time. You got to work every day. You work 40 plus hours for them. Take an hour for yourself to do something that makes you happy. That's something that, and I will tell you that I forget I do sometimes. Like my family now, I do so much to make them happy. I know I do stuff to make them happy, but I sometimes forget I got to take time for myself to make myself happy. So, but I still do it. But one of those things is this weekend, we had a kickball tournament, not a tournament. O2 called out O4 in the kickball. It turned out cool. Actually, it turned out real cool. Like, and to be honest with you, it was so much stuff that happened prior to that that I wasn't gonna say nothing. But on the inside, I'm like, damn, damn, damn. But I was thinking like, if I don't do it, who gonna do it type of deal. Like, if I'm not gonna be positive, who gonna be positive? Like, I got there, the place that supposedly I hollered at the city, they weren't supposed to have this at this kickball field. It was supposed to be good for us. Well, baseball field. I go there, I see them doing a groundskeeper for a little league game. I'm like, dang, this is where we supposed to have our kickball game. That's one. I go two, I go to the field that the secondary field that I had. It had no lines. It wasn't chalked off or nothing. I'm like, dang, but it had bases. Had bases. It was all grass, so it had a mile, so we made it work. But and I just know anybody else in that small situation, like man, fuck it, we just do whatever. But I know we could have went somewhere else at that time too. But I'm like, nah, it was Mona Lake. It was the hikes. Let's do something for the hikes. Let's get some people there. Cool. Turned out well. Fast forward, O2, a lot of O2 didn't show up, which they had their thing. I understand. But my class '04, we always show up. Like, we gonna show up deep because we love each other. We hang out. But it's in that moment that I realized, like, I love doing stuff like that. I did that for me. Now I can say that I did that but I did that for me. I didn't do that to say, hey, I started this. So no, I did that because that generally makes me happy. That makes me happy to see other people happy, to have a good time, to eat food, to just talk shit about other shit. Like, and I think we forget that in our hustle bustle everyday life. So I guess the only thing I'm really just saying is just remember the positive stuff that make you a positive person. Remember the positive things in your life, because there's always gonna be fucked up shit that happen. There's always gonna be somebody that knock you over, that go try to knock you down. But you got a choice to getting up. You got a choice. You always have a choice to get up. You can lay down and stay down. But I refuse to be that person or teach my family, my kids, my girls that it's okay to stay down. It's okay to feel bad, but if every time you see someone with a negative slight or negative viewpoint to it or connotation, then it's always gonna be negative. So I guess I just say, just to sum it up, like, it ain't just be yourself, but at the same time be cognizant of what you say and the energy you put in that world. So again, I want to thank you guys for tuning into this week. It's Game Time podcast. If you want, just hit me up. I'm going to try to get together, maybe with the class of '03, another class. A couple, even '02. You're welcome to come again too. '04 as well. Like, let's hope we can do something else like that before the end of the summer, because we need more. We need more energy like that. There's too much bad stuff happening. That we can actually control. So just want y'all to know, I love y'all. Stay safe out there. Take it easy. Until next time.